Sup guys, welcome back. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining very briefly, very briefly, what my disabilities are, because the last video was speaking about those disabilities and my thoughts of being a wounded warrior and how I deal with that. So yeah, I'm just going to be briefly telling you what my disabilities are and how you can prevent them. So in no particular order, actually I'm going to try and do it chronologically. I'm going to tell you the first disability, which is actually a 2-in-1, so 2-in-1 special, get ready. My first disability is tinnitus and hearing loss. And what tinnitus is a ringing in your ears, and it's caused by a very loud noise and exposure to it. And yeah, mine was caused, and the hearing loss is obviously hearing loss, everybody knows what that is. What those were caused by was during School of Infantry, I was wearing the orange ear pro that, like, it's the foam ones that you guys have probably worn before, and you put it in your ears and then it expands. But if it's in contact with water, it'll automatically expand. You can't actually get it in your ear where it needs to be. So it was raining this particular day in School of Infantry for the Marine Corps, and I ran to the firing line and it fell out during it. And I didn't notice because I was running, and then I just started firing 22 magazines out of an automatic rifle, the M27. So when I get back to the firing, or the downgrading pit, so you like downgrade all your ammo and you make sure you don't have anything, I was taking out the ear pro, and I asked I can't get out this ear pro, the left one, man, can you help me? And then my buddies are like, there is no ear pro in there, dude. And I was like, oh god. And that's when you realize, it happens just that fast. That's when you realize you're disabled, and it's kind of weird. So that's my first disability I've ever had. 2-in-1, right? Fun times. And I still deal with them. So the tinnitus is permanent. I hear it right now. It sounds like crickets. It sounds like it really sounds like the TV, the empty channel TV sound, like the shh. The ones where, yeah, you guys know what I mean. Especially you 90s kids, right? Who watches TV anyway? Everybody's on Netflix now. Do you guys actually have TV? I'm curious. I don't have TV. My parents have TV, but they don't use it anymore. They use Hulu. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Next disability. Let's go for vertigo. Or the traumatic brain injury that I have, which causes vertigo. So how I got it, it was a concussion I had during flag football, during PT, so I was training, or I was just doing physical training in the military, and I ran into my two buddies during flag football, and I got knocked down really hard, and I got a concussion. So that should have been the end of it. It should have been, oh yeah, take a month off of training and you'll be good to go, and then everything will be fine. But what ended up happening was I was not allowed to go and take a break. Less than a week later, I was sent out to the field for crazy ranges, and this kept going for the next couple months, and they did not stop me from training at all for this concussion, which they should have. Now I'm left with this thing called BPPV. I'm not going to go and say the abbreviation. It's just like benign post-proximal, something. Basically what it is because of my exposure in the ranges afterwards to concussion, blast of, I was a grenadier, so M67 frag grenades and freaking rockets being fired right next to you, and machine gun bursts, and the whole thing, the whole shebang. Literally, I was not allowed to heal, so my brain didn't have time to heal from the concussion, and now I'm left with BPPV and some memory problems and a whole other load of things that I can't really get into. It's just a million different things, but memory loss and the vertigo that I have, the BPPV, is the same thing as the main two disabilities that I have from the traumatic brain injury. And what they are, BPPV, it makes it so you have vertigo, and what vertigo is if you remember when you were a kid and you'd spin around in circles and try and make yourself dizzy that way? That's what it feels like. So if you shake your head this way, it's like, whoa, the whole world's going crazy. Sometimes you fall over. You just look like you're a drunkard, right? This happens in the most awkward times. It'll happen in movie theaters, just being And like, you know those seats at the movie theaters, at Imagine Theaters. I don't know if you guys have those where you guys are from, but Imagine Theaters, they have reclining seats. It's the best thing ever. But when I sat up once after the movie, I had vertigo, and then I was completely dark, and I looked like I was drunk. I'm like, I swear I'm not drunk, guys. Like, you know, and I'm trying to get out of the movie theater. I have to have my parents pick me up sometimes because vertigo, it happens in the randomest places. This is what the BPPV, that's like something it's known for, is just when you wake up from sleeping, you have vertigo now. It's like, what? Or like if you go and pick something up off the ground, or if I'm talking to a customer because I work retail, and I have my head like this for a minute, you know, where it's like this, and then I go back to this state of where my head is. I have vertigo for the next 2 hours. Good times. Memory loss, I forget a lot of things. And I mean, it's like actually like stated, it's part of my disability. I forget a lot of things. It's names, it's, I forgot my pancakes in my fucking backpack. I made those things for 2 hours last night. I was like trying to get the ingredients. I went to Meijer, and then I forgot another ingredient, so I had to go to Meijer twice, and then I came home, and I was like, I'm gonna make these pancakes if it kills me. And I made them. It was chocolate chip pancakes. They're amazing. And then I ruined them all by leaving them in my backpack instead of putting them in the fridge. Like I told myself a million times, don't forget. So, yeah. They were in my backpack because I was taking them to work, not because I'm a weirdo. What's the next, I mean, I have an adjustment disorder with anxiety and depression, so basically, I'm out of the military, I'm having a hard time. A lot of veterans have this. I mean, just so you know, these are all very common disabilities. So make sure if you're in the military or even civilian, like make sure like you watch out for yourself, right? Wear ear pro. If you get a concussion, make sure not to do high intensity training. Make sure to go to your medic or your corpsman and say, look, I just had a concussion. I need you to call me off training, like for the next month. Like I need this. I can't have out of body experiences and fucking seizures almost, which I almost had from this concussion. And I can't be going to training. I'm not fit for it, and I need my brain to heal. Just let them know this. So, yeah, I had all that stuff. I have some joint problems as well, just from hiking. Infantrymen, you're gonna have this. There's no work around it. I have basically my knees, especially my left one. No, my right one sometimes too. So I'd say they're both about the same. The meniscus on them, so it's like the cartilage in between each of the joints. It's really worn down just from carrying so much weight and then hiking a bunch. So it's gonna happen. You're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna age a lot in the infantry especially, but in the Marine Corps, any branch, I mean, if you hike a lot, you're running a lot, your cartilage is gonna get worn down. It is what it is. So that's like arthritis. And I guess the last disability that I have is sleep problems. And this is part of the whole mental thing. They almost diagnosed me with PTSD. Never went to combat. I don't know how that's possible. But part of the sleep problems that I have, this kind of rolls into it, is when I go to bed, I have this thing called exploding head syndrome. If you don't know what that is, I explained it thoroughly in the previous video, so make sure to give that a watch. But that makes it so, you know, that's obviously something wrong with my head, and you know, it's a precursor for a lot of things, and it makes sleeping very tough, just like the vertigo does. And I'm just a very tired person. Yeah, but exploding head syndrome, that's obviously part of it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. I mean, we all have little things that we can complain about, and I guess I can tie a lot of things to the military, but these are all the documented disabilities that I have, which is why I'm a wounded warrior. So it's no missing limbs, it's nothing like that. It's all inside, and nobody can hear the tinnitus that I hear. Nobody can hear what it sounds like to be in a crowded room and have to adjust your hearing aid and like try and get it all right. Nobody can experience the vertigo like I do. So like, you know, it's very difficult to explain these things, but these are disabilities just like any other one. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a subscribe, and leave a like as well. That'd be awesome. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. I think I said all I wanted to say.